It didn't matter, even though rich people like Gavin Newsom kept, French laundry open, this and that. But my point is misery loves company. So
Yeah.
like if there's people that aren't doing well, they don't even want to put the guy in that's going to fix things because they want it to do worse. They want the crash. They want anarchy. They want it to continue to be bad. And I think that's what's going on. Like there's just a lot of people that actually don't want this country to be better. And with the
Well,
illegal immigration, I mean, how is this not? I'm not even like I'm not even anti-immigration, but dude, it's just an unbelievable amount of criminals. Like we have to do some vetting. We can't just let in murderers and rapists. And I'm not saying every person that I'm not even trying to sound politically correct. Obviously, not every person that comes over here is a rapist, but if 13,000 rapists have come over here, according to Fox News, and that number's probably light, and 17,000 murderers, that's 17,000 too many. I can't go to some, like Candace Owens can't go to Australia.
yep.
People can't go to Canada if you've got a DUI, but you can have an ex murder conviction in Venezuela and or Haiti, and you're like, come on in. No, that's too far.
Well, that's just
Yeah.
it. Like, I don't think people like me and you are that extreme. There's certainly
Yeah.
people on the conservative side that have more conservative beliefs than us.
Yeah.
But the situation is so laughable at this point. Like, for example, just the pandemic. I know you have to be a little careful on YouTube, but just the pandemic, just on this issue alone, we were told that we had to lock down. Meanwhile, they allowed hundreds of thousands of migrants that weren't vetted to come in, many of which they knew tested positive.
I'm just saying no required. That didn't make any sense. Well, what even makes the most sense, and I don't want to get too crazy though. Well, Israel, Palestine, obviously it's terrible what's going on there.
Right.
But I did think it was very kind of awkwardly humanitarian that they did a temporary ceasefire to give Palestinians polio vaccines. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that amazing? It's surreal. So, here's a white pill.
They won't ceasefire for anything else, but they'll ceasefire for that.
Please, Big
Yeah.
Pharma needs to make a buck here.
I
Like,
can't
here's a
roll
white
my eyes enough at
Here,
that.
here's a
This-
white pill I have for you, Alex. So let's say, right? The beauty for someone like you is you're going to have a fun 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, you won't have any lack of, content to be
Well,
able to
I was
mock
thinking
at
about
this.
that, Rob. I don't want to cut you off, but is that better? Because I'm newer to politics. I used to work in reality TV, so I didn't know what's going on. I don't know if my content is better. When I first started making content, Trump was in office, but that was like right when COVID started happening, and so a lot of people were making content. But I don't know if Trump's in office, that might be better because I know Laura Trump. Then potentially I would. I'm not saying I'm going to be best friends with the president, but I think I'm just talking about personally selfish right now. In my mind, I'm like, of course, I think I want Trump in the office for my personal thing, but content wise, I don't know. Do you think it's that much better if the content wise? Do you think, because that's what they say, it helps conservatives if the opposite party's in power because you have more, because you can't just bash Trump every day. If you're conservative, you have to gas him up. So you sometimes probably have to be inauthentic a little bit because there's sometimes you probably don't agree with Trump and you have to still agree.
The beauty of Trump is there's plenty of content to go around. There'll always be
Yeah.
something, because what Trump will bring out is the insanity on the other side. Trump will
Yes.
come out and be like, no one respects fish more than me, and then the Democrats will be like, that's bullshit. We have a list of 13 people that we know respect fish more than Donald Trump, and then you'll have your content. You'll be able to make. But one of the things I worry about with you is shit's getting so insane that I'm afraid that people on the left will be looking at your satire as sort of a playbook. They're going to be looking at that going,
They already
yeah,
are. There's already Walt Masterson. Now everybody's doing it. And people on the right. And I'm happy. I think there should be more people disrupting meetings and confronting politicians. So I'm actually happy that, I mean, it's not, I didn't start that. People were doing that before me. But
Sure.
I do think we need more citizen people to whip out their phone and confront it. It doesn't take a genius to ask questions and to kind of, yell and scream at politicians. And people like it because really politics, and this is somebody smarter than me said this, it's just like, politics are just the entertainment division of the military-industrial complex. Like it's all just Macho Man, Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan. It's all fake. Like after Trump, who's gonna take over? I mean, Ron DeSantis, I like him, but I mean, is he really that big of a political icon? That's gonna
your boy
fix the country?
Crenshaw? Maybe Dan
Dan
Crenshaw
Crenshaw
take over,
sucks.
shove
We're
you
screwed.
around.
And then I think Ted Cruz is going to win, but he's having a tough race versus Colin Allred. He barely beat Beto, and Beto's a fraud. So I don't know. The future of conservatism hangs in the balance of Donald Trump, believe it or not. Even the conservatives that hate him, I don't think they understand how much they need Trump. So Trump could be potentially a kingmaker and help lift somebody up, like when he helped DeSantis win the governor race against that crackhead. What was that guy? What was what was that guy's name again?
It's
Andrew Meyer or
forgettable.
something?
His name
What
is
was he?
forgettable.
It wasn't. No, I can't remember. It'll come to me by the end of tonight. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
wasn't that
probably
great?
in the motel room right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
All those pills.
pumping himself up here. You know what I mean, though, is I think you're absolutely. People obviously will emulate you on both the left and right in ways that I think is actually effective. But what I mean is they're going to take your satire as real. Like, I can't imagine how many lefties are watching you that aren't realizing when you're in front of a school board or a town council and you're talking about your wife's boyfriend being upset for something. That's like, yeah, my wife's boyfriend is also very upset. Like,
Well, that's become a reality with Destiny now and everything now, and then the Nick Rekieta drama. I don't know if you see. Are you familiar with that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Steel Toe Morning Show, wife swapping. It's like, if you're on the internet, everybody, and then Trump's dropping my wife's lover. If he would have said their wife's girlfriend, if he would have, they spruced it up for him. They didn't want to just totally say that joke. He should have said their wives' boyfriends are voting for me instead of wives' lovers. It was still funny, but now it's in the zeitgeist. It's in our collective conscious that. And for some reason, being a cuckold and cuckolding, everything about it is weird and awkward, and so it's
right for
a funny
humor.
thing.
Yeah, that's
So anyway,
what did you think about Destiny at that debate? Everybody crushing him. Were you guys talking about
the Jubilee. I didn't talk about it much today, but yeah, I mean, you know what's funny to me? Like, Destiny, I think objectively, see what you think about this, Alex. He's a smart guy. Like, he certainly is. He's a good
I do
debater.
think he's smart. He's full of shit, but he is smart.
That's right.
Yes,
he's a good rhetorician. But one of the
good.
things, he can't help but sabotage himself because he is just the most insufferable, unlikable prick under the face of the earth. He just is. He does himself no favors. What he doesn't understand about a show like Jubilee, sure, his audience is going to love him, and they think it's great when he goes on there, and he goes off on these tirades and all of that good stuff. But anyone that's not predisposed to already know who he is and agree with him, when they watch something like that, so many times it just comes off as like, even if he's making good points, I can't stand to listen to this. That's good for his brand. That's good to get on Piers Morgan because you're saying the most hyperbolic shit. But it's also good for someone like me that could point to it and say, you see, this is what these people think of you. They think it's funny when an assassin shoots at Trump and it ends up killing a Trump supporter. That's who they are, right? And so when you hear them on their moral high horse, just know they view you with the utmost contempt, think that you're a moron, think that you're some evil person that has the worst things coming to you. And I think that does resonate. I have a lot of people that have watched me debate Destiny for hours and hours that come to me and say, when I first saw you debate Destiny, I was on his side. I was a Destiny fan. I can't handle him after this assassination attempt. I can't handle what he's become. It's good for his brand. It's good to get on bigger platforms where he's now on Piers Morgan. He's talking to Jordan Peterson. He's talking to Ben Shapiro. But it's not good optically for helping out his political side. So I wish Destiny to get even bigger and everyone to see every little thing he says about assassination attempts and sort of his views on life and people that disagree with him politically. Tip of the cap to him. I hope he does more Jubilees and gets schooled by people over and over.
Yeah, but listen, I'll tell you one thing. Don't bury the lead. This is a guy who celebrated a guy getting killed at a rally. That's it. That's the lead. You celebrated a guy getting killed at a rally.
He did have a good point in that debate, though, because we did all joke about Paul Pelosi, even though that is not as bad. He didn't get killed. I thought that was funny because there's always tit for tat. There's always an example of everybody both being hypocritical, and Destiny's good at pointing that out. But and I'll give you his rhetoric is good. He says hyperbolic stuff.